How much is too much to allow a 2-year-old to live? Murder trial over $600 child support payment ends in conviction. What's going on? This is My Life in the Shop. I'm your host, Daron Boswell-Johnson. I'm going to bring you guys a story. Now, this guy, Daron Johnson, he's going to murder his baby mama, Nashante Davis, and his daughter, Chloe, over $600 child support. Now, he has 2 children already. And from it, what it looks like, he seems to be a stand-up dad. However, goes out, get another female pregnant, and she put him on child support. Now, the courts are actually $600. I'm going to bring you guys the story. Not only am I going to bring you guys the story, I'm going to bring you guys his confession. Because they didn't have any DNA, they didn't have the murder weapon. They had to rely off his confession. Also, I want to bring you guys my personal opinion on the child support system. And that the child support system, what it does is take away the negotiation falls with the mother and the father to make it work. So many times you see a lot of people just like, I got your child support, beat it. You don't need to see your child. But you also see men that try to duck and dodge their responsibility. And so women are forced to go to the court to face their responsibility. So it's a two-way streak. I want to talk about both ends of this conversation. This is My Life in the Shop. So now this story is going to read, in months after Daron Boswell-Johnson learned he was the father of a 2-year-old girl, he took to the internet for advice. How can I stop child support? This was on one of his Facebook posts. He tapped into his phone in 2015. How does the court know if my child support is paid? He shortly typed after. And then in January 2016, he asked, what if I'm behind on my child support? Weeks later, after $600 a month began to be garnished from his paychecks, his daughter Chloe Davis Green and his girl's mother, Nashante Davis, were dead. It appeared, according to prosecutors, that Boswell-Johnson's answered his child support problem was executing his mother and daughter in the early February 2nd, 2016. That was his answer to getting out of child support. Horrendous. Horrendous. I'm going to bring you guys his confession. Prince George County jury on Tuesday agreed, convicting Boswell-Johnson of 2 counts of murder, double killing. The prosecutor is going to say, how much is it too much for a 2-year-old to live? Prince George County attorney asked. Is too much enough? 400, 600? No gun DNA. They had to rely on his confession. He also, his cell phone records, the surveillance videos and notes he wrote to his loved ones before heading to jail. I know if I failed you as a son, he told his mother. So that's what he wrote his mother. I know if I failed you as a son, I'm not the monster they are making me to seem. He wrote to his mother of his 2 children. So he also wrote to the mother of his 2 children. I was lying to them until they bring me a picture, he told his girlfriend. During the trial, which lasted more than a week, dang. So he brought him a picture of the little girl he murdered. That's sad. I'm gonna bring you guys to his confession. Take a look.
Okay, so after she said that, what did you do? I became upset. You became upset? Where was the gun at? Was it already in your hand? Or did you have it in your waistband or your pocket? In your waistband? Did you say anything to her prior to pulling the gun out? I said, she said, I used to know this. I want to talk to her about Chloe. I don't want to talk about the child support. Okay. That's all I can. So you went over there to talk about the child support. What did you want to talk to her about? that she needs to take it off.
That she wanted to take it off?
Yeah, she needs to.
And what did she say?
I just see the letter. And then, I guess, I don't know what it was saying, but I just see the letter in the mail talking about the child support stuff.
When did you receive the letter in the mail? It was recent though?
Yeah.
So did you actually tell her that you received the letter?
Yeah.
So did you tell her that she needs to take the child support off, or no, you didn't?
We had a conversation before about it. She said I could try to take it off.
Okay.
But they said I couldn't.
Okay.
Today's a historic.
So now that's his confession. He did confess. At first, he was trying to say that he was sleeping at the time of the shooting. His name is Daron Boswell-Johnson. In the article, they keep calling him Boswell-Johnson. This is the article. Eventually, after hours of denial, Daron Boswell-Johnson confessed. Prosecutors said he woke up early. Eventually he confessed. At first he was saying that he was sleeping at the time of the shooting. Eventually, after hours of denial, Johnson confessed that he woke up early February 2nd, drove over to her crib at Fort Worth, parking his car down the street from Davis's home. He sat on the steps 2 houses away, waiting for her to emerge from work, detectives said, describing Boswell's confession. When she refused to talk, he pulled a gun from his waistband and fired. And that's the part that, I was talking about, is that so many times I got female homegirls, a lot of females I talk to, they say, oh, forget him. Just have my check in the mail. I'm not talking to him. And this is the environment the child support system has, because the biggest problem in the black community, the reason we have so many killings, the reason we are losing in every aspect, the reason why we are filling up the jails, filling up the cemeteries, is because of no fathers. Now, I'm not blaming the woman. I'm not blaming the man. I'm blaming both of us. There's a lot of men ducking, dodging their responsibilities out there, making 12 different babies. I did a story about Life Jennings. He was crying about one child being on child support. He'd go out and get 5 more baby mamas. Dude, come on, man. You got to wrap it up. You got to wrap it up. It's just cheaper to keep her, man. If you're crying about the first one, man, just cheaper to keep her. Throw your towel in and stay with that one. Throw the towel in. If you can make it work, make it work. It's very much cheaper to keep her. However, on the flip side, I see so many women just like, forget him. I'm not going to talk to him. You got my child support check in the mail. Just have that. And you don't need to see your child. We don't need to talk. I'm not negotiating with you. Seems to be he was a stand-up dad to the other two. But we don't know about what happened with this one. Now, the child, he said after 2 years. Now, so it could have been a case to where he was ducking and dodging for 2 years. And if that's the case, if he was ducking and dodging for 2 years, then her going to the courts is justified somewhat, because you had 2 years to face that responsibility. And so a lot of women say that, look, I gave him 2 years. I gave him 3 years to stand up. What happened to him in those 2-3 years? And a lot of women say that. I talk to women straight up about child support, and I tell them my side, and they tell me their side. And they be like, look, I gave him 3 years. And he still didn't step up. He still didn't step up. So I had to do what I had to do. It takes money to raise these children. And I agree. That a woman should give a man a chance to step up. And if he doesn't step up, then that's on him if he don't want to step up and then she go to court. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men try to duck and dodge that responsibility. And they end up this way. However, this is a 2-year-old girl. After months after he learned that he was the father of a 2-year-old. So what happened in the 2 years in between that? So months after, that's when he took to Facebook asking how much is child support, this, that, and the other. I don't know the full story. It's always, what does they say, 3 sides to the story. One side, the other side, and the truth. We don't know both sides of the story. But my stance on child support system, every man should pay for that child, no question. It's cats out here popping bottles before they pay for their child. It's cats out there that would rather pay new Jordans, new shoes, new clothes before they pay for their own child. And get mad when they get put on child support. It's cats out there want to drive Benzes, buying new cribs, and instead of paying money for their child, they'd rather ride slick and duck and dodge their responsibility. And so those type of people, man, I don't have any sympathy for you. But on the flip side, man, there's a lot of good men out there trying to make it work with whatever money they have. And if they got other children, they trying to be in their child's life and trying to make 2 cents, 2 pennies rub together and take care of that child. And then female put him on child support and they garnishing the paychecks. So now it's even harder for him to get ahead because he's constantly being put way behind, garnishing his paychecks, taxes at the end of the year, getting threatened of going to jail. And this is the environment that the system has created. The system's also created an environment to where nobody has to make it work. Once upon a time, before the system, you had to make it work. Oh, you couldn't duck and dodge. I'm not talking to you. You can't see your child. Beat it. It wasn't none of that. It wasn't none of that. Both y'all laid down. That's his child. That's your child. Both y'all have rights to see that child. There's 2 sides to every story. I know I should. What I want to do is have a female. I'm gonna bring a few of my homegirls on here. We talk and we discuss this topic all the time, and I want to get women's side of the story. I also talk about this with my sister all the time, and I'm against that mentality. Oh, just have my check in the mail, beat it. You don't need to talk to your daughter. I don't want to talk to you. You don't get to see your daughter, and that's the worst thing in our community. We're talking 80 to 90%, well, actually 73 to 90% children will grow up fatherless. Those 73 to 90% will make up our prison systems, our jail systems, college dropout, high school dropouts, cemetery, suicide. Every negative statistic you could possibly fathom will come from those. That's where they'll come from. Without a good father in that child's life, you're right. You got better luck seeing a UFO than to see them make it. You got better luck seeing a unicorn. Now, I wouldn't go as far as saying that, but it's very hard, very challenging. The numbers, the odds are stacked against it. I did a few stories. I do stories regarding our communities, what involves our communities. I talk about solutions to those problems. The biggest problems in our community, no question, is no fathers. That's why I cover stories like this one. Also, the second biggest problem in our community, if not the first, this is 1 and 2, about economics in our community. Somebody said you're very repetitive. Yes, because I give solutions. Everybody else want to blame everybody else out there. But I give solutions to those problems. What is the biggest problem in our community? I'm not ducking and dodging our problems in our communities. And ducking and dodging the community, everybody's scared to hit this topic. Everybody's scared to hit this topic about no fathers in the community. If you watch a lot of other YouTubers, they play it safe because they don't want to rock the boat. They don't speak upon what's going on in our communities because they're scared to. I talk to people, and they're like, "Oh no," because we know what the biggest problem is. And the worst thing that we can do is, and a lot of people ask this, man, is the system stacked against the man? Because it's the environment. I did a few other stories. seemed to be a straight up cat. He says he went over there just to have a conversation with her. Seemed like he was out of his mind. How in the world can he kill someone and kill a 2-year-old child? $600 a month. Come on, brother. Just get another job or just step it up a little bit, man. I don't know what happened. Very sad case. But every case is different. Everybody is different. So we don't know both of their stories. But I tell the story all the time. I do repeat myself often. However, I've been to court with one of my partners. He go up there, there's 300 people in that damn courtroom. 200 to 300 people, man. So packed, flooded outside. By the time he got called 2 hours later, it was so long the judge took a lunch break. Like, man, I'm out of here. I'm finna go take a lunch break, come back. Come back. Every man that walked up there, judge, I just want to see my daughter. Nope. Psh. Judge, I just want to see my son. Nope. Psh. Judge, I just want to see my son. I'm a stand-up guy. Nope. Psh. Judge, you know I'm paying child support. Nope. And I'm looking at that like, damn, this is the worst thing. Our communities are destroyed. It's divide and conquer, and they done just that. They pitted the man against the woman, divide, clean, conquer, and we easy targets. We easy targets. They divided our families. Our children will grow up with no father so they don't know anything. Nobody to teach them about economics. Nobody to teach them about this cruel world. They make up the prison systems. Smooth sailing. They don't got to do nothing but watch us destroy ourselves, and that's it. They can sit back, watch us destroy ourselves, and that's exactly what we're doing. Every one of our communities, we're just destroying ourselves. We don't invest in businesses because we was never taught. Most of us grew up without a father because there was divide and conquer. So we don't invest in businesses. We invest in Bentleys. We go to the club instead of save our money. We go to Miami instead of save our money. Instead of clean our credit up. We rent instead of buy a house. We don't know no better. We was taught no better. Because of our families being split. This is the environment it creates. That's why I'm against the system. And I'm also against the system because I ask, and I challenge you guys to do the same. Go and ask anybody from another country. Go ask a foreigner. Excuse me, what do you guys do without welfare and the child support system? What do y'all do? And they look at you, they like, and then a lot of people gonna say, oh, it's culture, it's culture. Oh, no, it's just a culture. Okay. Find somebody 75 years old that's still living right now, that grew up without welfare. I want you guys to ask them. Or if you have grandparents, ask your grandparents. What did their parents do without welfare and child support? What did they do without welfare and child support? But you got to be 75 because welfare was 65. So a lot of, if you're young, then your parents grew up on it or around it or in that environment. But if you're 40 and you got grandparents or parents, it's a chance they did not grow up on it. The people that not grow up on the child support system, ask them. What did you guys do without that system? They're going to laugh at you. It's the craziest damn question. They're also going to tell you, I couldn't go out there and sleep with him and him. I had to have a ring. Now, I personally don't think that you ever have to have a ring now, but this is what they're going to tell you. Anybody else that don't have that welfare system and the child support system, they're going to tell you, I couldn't go out there and sleep with him. I had to have a ring because he ran off. I was screwed because I couldn't go hit the child support system up. I couldn't go hit the welfare system up. I was screwed. So whoever came with it had to be madly in love and have a ring also. Then they can get it. Outside of that, now we got an environment where it's 4, 5, 6 different baby mamas, baby daddies. I'm not blaming the man or the woman. Both of us, men and women, are to blame. We all are to blame in this case. And so we have an environment now to where it's average 3, 4, 5 different baby daddies. And then what's killing me is 5, 6 deadbeat baby daddies. I'm like, you got, wait. The first is a deadbeat. Second is a deadbeat. Third and the fourth baby daddy are deadbeats. And these are good-looking women, too. I mean, that can walk into a downtown church or a bar or a club and say, oh, y'all line up, give me your resume, and can choose a doctor, lawyer. And on the flip side, men are out here just like Life Jennings. If I do, or a lot of men. Everybody knows a man that got like 12 different kids he can't take care of. And he's still having babies that he can't take care of. And then they crying about child support. Man, I don't know what to say about our situation in our communities. Poor little Chloe, the young girl, was caught right smack in the middle of this mess. She had absolutely nothing to do with nothing. And these two lost their lives over something so petty. Not petty, but could have been talked about to the negotiated. And she probably did. 2 years and he still ain't stepped up. She probably had no choice. But the poor little girl had nothing to do with none of this mess. None of it. None of it. And how can you do that to your child? Dude probably facing life in prison and he absolutely deserves it. He does not need to step a foot in the free world again. He a monster for doing that to this little child. And I think it said that he confessed once he seen that little girl's picture that he left in an SUV. It looks as if he murdered her and put her in an SUV, in a hot SUV, and ran off to work and tried to play like he was at work. Which is a sad story, but they just got a conviction in this case. This is why I bring it to you today. Sad tragedy. Anyway, I want you guys to like, comment. Now, even if you disagree, I get a lot of people that disagree, and that's cool. You're not gonna agree on everything, just not. I'm just bringing you guys my perspective of this situation. Anyway, like, subscribe, go watch the Chicago Way documentary. I'm gonna put a link to it after this video. Peace. It's on Amazon for free, y'all.